Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Clean Humor. As you see, we're one short tonight. Miss Trudy's not going to be with us. She is having some complications with her foot that she had surgery on. She's in the hospital, so we want everybody to be praying for her for a speedy recovery. If I can get my host with the most back, it feels lonely without her being over here with us. But we are here tonight. We got a gentleman that's going to be on here. We've talked a while back, me and David has, and it's been years and years. And I was following him on Facebook and stuff. He had a pressure washing company in the state of Georgia. He built it up, and he sold out. We're gonna get that testimony. Um, he has a founders workshop that he's working on is like it help people grow businesses and stuff. We're going to touch on that, and we're just going to be just sitting here. We're just going to talk, man, just like we did the other day when we was on the phone. But everybody, I'm glad to introduce you, David Sessions. And brother, give us a little background about yourself, how you got started in pressure washing, and you got away from it for a little while, I believe, and probably where your heart's probably still at times. And, we're glad you're here and for us to have you on the show with us.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I did own Peach State Pressure Washing. I also had a trade school consulting. We did a couple of the conventions, get-togethers type things. And while I was doing pressure washing, I did end up selling the business 2021, I believe. Um, what we ended up doing was taking essentially a $0 investment and scaling it to $600,000 a year pressure washing business uh, right around 3 year mark. We found a good exit on that business in a time where the market was really good. It valued our business very well, and so we took advantage of that opportunity. After that, I honestly just sold any of the other businesses that I was doing and took some time off. My wife and I traveled a little bit and spent some time with the family, and then and just got right back into it with the founders workshop and started a mobile detailing company as well. We took that mobile detailing company from a little bit more than a $0 investment this time. So we were able to go out and buy a van on credit, and then take about $15,000-$20,000, put it into the company, and we scaled that in 3 years to we're 2 months over our 3 year birthday to roughly like $1.5 million a year, and by the end of 26 we'll probably be closer to 3 million. I wanted to be able to at some point come back here at pressure washing and with the founders workshop and really talk to people about the same systems that we're using in detailing that we used in pressure washing to scale these service businesses. Because as I've been consulting with companies, all kinds of different in all kinds of different industries, it seems like a lot of businesses have the same pain points. And so they're not, I was telling you on the phone the other day, like, this isn't something that you have to go to Harvard for. I don't have to have a degree in marketing to understand what I'm trying to do with my branding and my company and things like that. I'm really excited to talk to you and answer people's questions about really any pain points, bottlenecks, struggles, frictions that they're having in their businesses right now.
So you started a pressure washing company, and you said you scaled it. Started out with zero. Well, nobody starts out with $0. I mean,
What I did was, I guess $50. So we got door hangers, put it around, got a call, made the website myself, went out there, sold the job, got a deposit, took the deposit, rented a Home Depot pressure washer, knocked out a driveway, the hardest way you possibly can, and then took that little bit of profit and snowballed it into the next job and the next job. And we really did scale it that way. If there was no outside financing, we didn't go to a bank or anything like that.
right.
There were additional investors. I mean, that was literally, we just built it one job after another. Now, Fortunately, I will disclose that my living circumstances allowed me to put a lot of that money back into it. So I will recognize that a lot of people are in a situation where they need some of that profit in order to pay their bills. So I get that, it does allow me
Right.
to reinvest a bit quicker than some can.
So if somebody was going to start, and I know when we start throwing dollar amounts out, people they just they go crazy. I mean, $600,000, that's a lot of money. So to scale a pressure washing business that much and that length of time, what was the process?
So, and you'll hear this with a lot of people that try to teach people about home service businesses. So, I firmly believe this. You have to get off the truck as fast as possible. That was our number one goal. So I went from selling a job and renting a pressure washer to 6 months later, I wasn't on a truck with my technicians. So we moved that very quickly. The detailing company, we got it to more revenue faster or in the same amount of time, but I was able to get out of a mobile detailing van in 6 weeks. So like we were able to take these processes and got better at them, more effective and more efficient. I was able to get out of it faster, which allowed me to scale faster. And so I really do see correlation in a lot of the service businesses that I've owned in my life, where it's like the faster I get off of the actual service, the providing the service part, the faster I can start working on my business and not in it.
That's a good thing. So when you're going out, you're hiring these people, hiring the folks, the guys, the girls, whoever. Um, did you pay them a percentage, or you pay them by the hour? Because I know some of our guys around here, some of them pay by the hour, some of them pay a percentage of the job.
Yeah, so I think it depends on what company.
Oh, I don't know what happened, folks, but I just lost David. But let's see if we can't get him back. Technical difficulties all the way around. All the way around. Well, I just sent him a message and said he may have to just log back in. But anyway, till we get David back on live, if you haven't already done it yet, you need to go to www.panhandleexpo.com and get registered for the Panhandle event that is in November. It's going to be one of the greatest shows on earth. A lot of people's coming in. A lot of teaching's going to be going on. We've got Stain and Seal going to be there. Seal Lock's going to be there. Greg Tatum's going to be there. PWNA is going to be there. There's going to be some teachings on paver sealing. Going to have maintenance on your pressure washers and stuff. That's going to be by Kyle from Panhandle. He's going to be handling that this year again. Done a wonderful job last year. My hat goes out to you, my friend. Window washing. You're going to have somebody come in and teach us on window washing in depth. Judd West has always got the gadget class, which he's going to tell you basically your little gadgets and everything you need when you first start out in pressure washing. Also going to have AC Locklear there. The dude, man, makes some phenomenal hose reels, water fed systems, and everything. So, we're just going to be down there having a good time. We're going to go support Trudi and everything she does and support the Panhandle group. Some more people that's going to be there. You're going to have Comet Pumps going to be there, the host company, PSI, Dab Marketing. All of these people is going to be set up in the showroom for you can go and talk to them, ask questions about their equipment they got coming out. If you got one of their machines and you got issues with it, they want to know what what issues you're having, and so we just gonna go down there. We're gonna support her and just have a good time with them. And our buddy David Sessions, he's going to come in. He's going to do a teaching on the founders workshop. Going to tell us how to scale our businesses and give us some good information on how to do all that. There he is. Welcome back. I was about to run out of things to talk about, bro.
Kind of hard to believe.
But anyway, we was to paying folks percentages.
Yeah, so it really depends on the industry. So with our detailing company, it's we have commission-based techs, but with my pressure washing company, we had hourly, and then we had like a bonus structure based on how well we did on our jobs. We had certain metrics that we would measure success by, and so like amount of dollars produced per hour was one of those metrics that we would measure their success by. And so if you are going to pay hourly, I would suggest that you create some metrics around that hourly and incentivize those metrics to make sure that they're not trying to, slow down a little bit at the week where they've been going through some good jobs, making some good money. So now they're like, hey, I'm only at 34 hours this week. Today we need to slow down, and it's like,
Right.
But if they go, hey, I'm at 34 hours, but if I get all this done under 36 hours, my average will give me a little bit of a bonus. Then you can try to keep them in line that way with the hourly, where they're not looking to cheat you. They're actually looking to provide more value to their teammates. So
Right.
and their company. So yeah, if you're going to do hourly, make sure you incentivize it. If you're going to do commission, then just find out where your margins are at. And I think that for detailing, I think the commission works really well. For pressure washing, I saw where there was issues with like quality control when you have somebody that wants to blow through jobs, because the more jobs they do, the more money they make. And so if you do commission in either one of them, make sure that you have quality control systems in place to make sure that they're not trying to cheat the commission system.
Yeah, I know. I do hourly, and I know when we go out to a McDonald's, I know it's going to take 5 to 6 hours to do it. That's pretty much on the job. I mean, we got one truck, we got 2 machines, 2 guys out there. I'm there sometimes with them just to pull hoses and stuff and help keep cars off of them to get ready to shut the whole place down. And I tell them, I say, look, if we can burrow through this thing in 4 hours, great and wonderful. You're going to get paid for what I usually pay you for, because I know that's how long it usually takes. But I don't want a crappy job done and you expect me to pay you the extra 2 hours and I got to go back and fix it. If I'm not there, it's on them. But if I'm there, it's on me, because
Yes, what you're describing is more of like a flat rate system, I guess, where you're just like, hey, a McDonald's is 5 hours. It's like a mechanic, right? If you turn it faster, that's great. You still get your 5. You turn it
right,
slower, then that's on you.
right,
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, if you do a lot of commercial work, I will say also my pressure washing company was a lot more residential. We had commercial, but I would say for your stuff, like you really have it tied down to like some good routes and good timing on stuff that you've been doing for quite some time. So you have a lot of data on it. And I think for a company like yours, flat rate would make really good sense because you can control costs that way.
yeah. And then if I'm not there and they have to go back, they don't get paid to go back.
Yeah, so with my detailing company, if we have to send another technician to do something because you missed something, or we have to, discount it because the customer wasn't happy, then, that we split. Like if I have to send another detail out there, your commission gets split because you have to split it with the person that went out there to fix your stuff. So, definitely like things like that are part of quality control systems. I think that keep people like making sure that they're doing the right work so that they can get the money that they want.
Yeah. So your founders workshop event, that is this weekend?
Yeah, so we'll put them on quarterly. This is an event that'll cover 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We go over a few different things that I think are important to running a business, but especially a small business that's trying to grow. Because my whole thing is like you build businesses, the businesses are you build systems, the systems build the businesses, right? So
Right.
the first thing that we want to do is we talk to them on their first day about understanding what their who their customers actually are, what they look like, how you should be advertising towards them. Some of the people that come to the workshop are in bigger cities where there's a huge diverse population of people, and they're
Mhm.
running ads to like in Atlanta where I'm at, and it's like you don't run it to the whole city, and we explain why you would want to break that down and run specific ads to specific areas based off of demographics, stuff like that. And so we explain marketing in depth and how to create avatars, which are essentially a picture on the wall of a person that's your ideal customer, the person you think of when you shoot the video for content or write the copy for the ad, or fix the headlines for your Google ads. And so um, then we also talk about processes and systems. Are you gonna, when you talk about hiring people, do we do it consistently with a process? Like I talked about this today. If Anthony, if you said, "Well, I have a hiring process," it usually starts with like the interview, right? Like you go through and you find an applicant, and then you do an interview. What I
Right.
mean with process is like who in your company is held responsible for putting up fresh help wanted ads every 2 weeks, and who's responsible for pausing the old ones and filtering through the applications collected and doing interviews every single month. And a lot of people say, well, I'm not growing every single month. I don't need to interview every single month. But that's like literally, we can't scale service businesses without laborers. And so your whole job, instead of like, and I'm not bashing what you do, but like if you're out there pulling hoses, you should be interviewing people, right? And if you were wanting to grow, if you're not growing, you need to at least make sure that you always have like that bench player or somebody so that when your guy gets sick and he's out for, 2 weeks, or you had a big job come up or you need to, someone left in a hurry because they had a family emergency, like, and they had to go out of town for 6 months and move back home, whatever. I've had it so many different things that people have told me really quickly. And it's like some of it I truly believe, and I'm sure it's not their fault. And some of it I think, like, oh, I wish you would have given me more of a heads up. I felt like I was treating you very fairly. You could have done the same, right? But either
Right.
way, at the end of the day, like, it's my pile of crap that you left me with, and you're not helping with it, and I have to go and ask my other employees to help us pick up that leftover capacity. And nothing burns out an A player more than turning around when they're done doing something really well and having to clean up after somebody else. And so for me, it's just important that I don't burn out my really good guys by keeping other really good guys ready to come in. And and while we're doing that, if I can kind of push us to grow a little bit, I'm already prepared with good laborers in the pipeline. So we talk about the hiring system and then actually walking them through what does an interview look like? What's a 5-star question? What's the point of asking the question? What are you looking for in a candidate? I get this question on consultations all the time. Do you want to hire people that have experience or people with no experience? What do you do?
Uh, man, it's mostly been just a family run business.
Oh, yeah. That's
Um,
sweet. I wish I had a bunch of family that helped me run
well,
my.
it started out me and my brother, and then we kind of had a little disagreement and stuff, and kind of got slow and went to work. We both went helping a friend of ours in his construction business, and then got on a kind of a big job, and he couldn't turn loose of both of us. So I just told my brother, I said, "You just hang out here with him, and I'll take care of the pressure washing because it was just a few little jobs here and there. It wasn't no big deal." And he just come fond of working with our buddy, and it didn't really hurt my feelings or nothing. And but anyway, we kind of had a little brotherly falling out there, and hired my niece, which that was kind of, I don't know, shouldn't have did that, but anyway, I did it anyway, and but then I
Did you fire your niece?
pretty much.
Okay, yeah, that was where you messed up. It worked out. It would have been you.
And it worked out. And I was running solo for a little bit. It was kind of slow. It seems like every time something like that happens, it happens when it's slow. And
What do you mean it happens when like you just mean like business dies down?
yeah, when business it's just like say I know I got the McDonald's, I got the 20, 30 something McDonald's that I keep up. I got a list of when they're due and everything. And then you got housewives on the other side of that. You got people calling wanting service stations done and all that. But there was this little period, you may have, I may go a week. And if I go a week without a job on my books,
Yeah.
I'm like wanting to pull my hair out. And my wife is like, just calm down, But, I make good money, David. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm well above $100,000. I think I told you the other day about what we made last year. And that's pretty good for one man in a truck and a helper here and there. But I had me a good guy. He was working good with me and everything. And he decided that he didn't want to have a pressure washer in his hand for the rest of his life. So had another guy, and then they come and got him and took him away for about 30 days. He had some warrants. He didn't show up for court, so he had a bench warrant on him. Okay. So, good dude, man, work. I mean, he'd be right there beside me day and night. Anyway, now summer's here where my kids are home from school, so that helps out a lot. And I got another pressure washing company here in town, which the guy that works for him, he works for me too. So It's not like it's not somebody out there that don't know the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He works with another guy and everything. And it seems to work out. I mean, God's just every time something happens, it's like, pump the brakes, Aunt. Just kind of chill out. Because, man, I'll work 3 or 4 days and nights straight. But when Thursday or Friday comes around, I'm done. I got to rest. And
when
so
things are going good, do you ever think like, let me take this time while things are getting kind of rolling to like put a little space between me and pulling hoses? So like when you do have a slow period, you're not freaking out?
Yeah, but I guess my biggest thing, David, is this. That's my baby. That's something I built from like you did, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I didn't have mom and daddy's money.
Sure.
I didn't have a lot of money when I started. I started out, I think, with $1,500 or $2,000, and grew it to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And we live all right, and I love being out there. I do. I love it. That's just me. My mom, she worked. She was like 90 years old, dude, and mowing an acre yard with a push mower. So it's in my DNA, bro. It's not. Even though when we wasn't busy, I had a guy work for me. He always thought I was just sitting at home not doing nothing. But I was always sending emails. I was checking on my customers, make sure they didn't need anything. The gas company people, I'd call them, make sure everything was good with them and they didn't need anything. Always doing something and putting stuff out there on Facebook. So I'm not just sitting still, not doing nothing. I was always working kind of behind the scenes and everything else. Like we come in at night, work, I'll throw Facebook pictures on Facebook and stuff, do like little videos and stuff, little reels and stuff, and put them out there and all that stuff. And it's worked out good for me. I would love to have 2 trucks and 4 guys, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. I'd just go make sure they're there, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and just check on them.
So why don't you do that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I've had people tell me,
You're
you
not
need to
even,
be.
I had guys tell me like, and my dreams are always outrageous, but like, if you're comfortable where you're at and you're like, hey man, I wouldn't mind one more truck and a couple guys. Um, that's not something that's that far out of reach for you, especially you're so established already. It's not like you're starting a new business or you've only been in business a couple of years. I mean,
It's not, but I would want it for they would be busy every night or
yeah,
every other night or something.
right. You get them up there 40 hours a week, make sure that they're getting good paychecks, that type of thing.
Yeah. Or at
Yeah,
least 30, and they making me the money. I'm gonna pay them the extra. I'm gonna pay them the extra. Like we talked about. But yes, Trudy, she just asked a question. So, do you think getting paid by the hour, you find contractors waste time? Yeah, I mean they could ride the clock. I mean they could slow down. Um, they could always say, "Well, something happened to the machine. We had to fix it." Like last night, we went out, turned on everything. I don't know why I didn't, but I usually go by the shop and I usually crank everything up, make sure everything works. Well, we had an injector that was not working, a downstream injector. Got to the job, it wasn't pulling or nothing. So we messed around with it for probably 10, 15 minutes before I changed it. I took it apart, cleaned it out and everything, put it back together. Still didn't work. And me thinking in my mind, just to start with, change it. You got it on the truck. Just change it to start with.
Change it and then play with it. Like, I don't know why you don't let them go back to work while you play with it.
And just change it. My mind was saying, just change the thing, Anthony, just change it. But I'm wanting to fix it. Well, I was wanting to do that because, they need to learn too.
Well,
In case
I'll tell
something
you.
happens and they don't have one on the truck with the always downstream injectors on my truck. I mean, that's one thing I have extra of. And because you need them, you never know when one's going to go out, especially when you're spraying caustic soda. You never, I mean, because it just eats stuff up.
Yeah, I'll tell you. In my experience, I think anybody will take in advantage. I mean, a lot of people will take advantage of pay in any fashion, left unsupervised or unchecked. And so I get this question a lot, where it's like, do you, in this case, like I don't want to. I'm not picking a side, right? Like you get this a lot in Facebook where people are like polarizing in their answers. So you're either like really commissioned or you're really hourly, and if either one of you are doing it the opposite way, then both, you don't know what you're doing. That's not the case. Like there's a lot of service businesses out there, and so they run on very different pay models all across the board. I think what's in common with those successful businesses, no matter what the pay model is the systems and processes that they have in line with their pay model to make sure that one, there's quality control checks in place to prevent people from one either slacking off or making sure that in a commission place like that they're blowing through it in order to get to the next commission job. And then hourly, same thing, right? Like as an hourly guy, I'm trying to slow down and take my time, not go through so many jobs. So as a company, we came up with a metric to measure dollars per hour that you're in a truck, right? And so we can measure that. And after we've collected enough data, we can say, look, this is what our average technician does, and we're holding you to this standard of just, our average technician. And that average technician should be pretty high standard because of your training systems, your onboarding, the way that you hire, the talent you're always bringing in. So it's like not as simple as like picking it's all one big thing that it's a chain reaction. And in every aspect, I look at that way in sales, right? If you don't have good sales, but you got great marketing, your acquisition costs will never come down. It's a chain reaction. No matter where you go, you have to get all of these things pretty right in order for it to work successfully, especially if you want it to work successfully without your presence there all the time to make sure that, because as owners, we think of everything. We see it all. It's all ours, right? And so all the money and everything, you're counting every penny as it's go. I mean, even in your head, Anthony, you're like doing it wrong and still telling yourself, like, dude, as an owner, your conscience is like, just swap it out, just swap it out.
Yeah.
It's we have to understand that, like, in order to get to a level in a business where you're not standing there having to go swap it out. You have to have systems and processes in place. So like you carry an extra one on the truck, your field manual should say if it goes down at all in any kind of way, swap it out real quick. And when we get back to the shop, fix it. Leave two extra ones on the truck for that matter, just to make sure,
Yep.
right? We don't waste any time ever. We don't question it. And when you get back to the shop, I'll put it up on the shelf. And the next time that we get a free day, we come back a little early, I'll pay you an extra hour to sit there and take it apart with me, and I'll teach you. And like, so you got to have those processes in place to avoid that lost time, because at some point that's a sunken cost, and you either fix it or you keep sinking.
Yeah.
I hope that answered her question. It wasn't really a picking weather, but I
Oh
think
man, it's you putting it out there. A lot of stuff I'm gonna soak in of. So let's touch base on more on your workshop.
yeah, so I'd ask you the question, like I get this question a lot too. Do you hire experienced people or do you hire people with no experience and try to like freshly mold them to whatever? So that way the only thing they know is your way. Um, Again, I'm not picking a side. I don't care what if you come to me with experience or no experience, we still have a 30-day training process. You still have to onboard appropriately. You still have to go through, watching our private YouTube channel before you go on to start your 30-day process. So with like actually hands-on training. And so we have a process of training people. And then when you get out, we have a process that you have to follow when you're in the field. And this is the same way at Peach State. Like we have a field guide. You go through all the way down to like you put the truck in park, and from there it is a step-by-step guide of how you do things. And so for me, it doesn't matter if you have experience or not. My things that I look at are character, right? What is your moral fiber, the integrity? Does your character align with the culture that we have here at this company? And I look at your history on your resume, and I'm not really looking at what the job was, but like how well you did the job. And for me, those things are more important. Those things are a lot harder to train than how to pressure wash a house or detail a car or hang a roof or whatever. Having integrity and character
Carry
is
yourself in a certain way, just not.
and you're checking moral fiber in interviews. It doesn't really matter about the experience to me, to an extent.
Yeah.
I just hired a chief operations officer for Mint, and for that company, I mean, obviously, I am looking at your experience, but still, like, what's more important to me than the experience is how are you as a leader? How do you coach people? And that talks to me about your character and your integrity, and again, your moral fibers. That's what I would look at.
I
But
look
yeah, to
at
go back to my workshop, these are the things that we like. When you get in here, it's different. So I had somebody ask me, what's the lineup? We don't have a lineup. There's no guest speakers or any of that. Like we have real professionals, coaches that are sitting down next to you with your laptop. And we're like logging into your Facebook ads manager and walking you through how to set up a Facebook ad and doing it so that the ad is running while you're doing the rest of the workshop. We're going to show you how to create content to put it on there. We're going to walk you through, like I was telling you, the marketing aspect. What is an avatar? All of that. And then on the latter half of it is systems like this. How do you hire people? How do you train people? How do you put things in a place like you were talking about paying bills and things? Where's the automation at so that, I mean, it's 2025. Half this stuff is being done by AI at this point. And I'm not
right.
talking about answering your phone, but like bill pay, invoice, automation, stuff like that. I mean, that kind of stuff you can tie into your company pretty quickly. And so I think that these are the changes that give small businesses and large businesses the freedom to focus on the right areas. The right areas isn't trying to remember to invoice, your 5 people a day or whatever. It's trying to, or, for our case, like we do 400 cars a month. Like I don't want to sit there and have to remember to invoice everyone. I want to be on here talking to you. So
Right.
in order to do that, you have to build automation. You have to have systems that check each other, over check each other. My guys all the time, they're like, if he does it and I'm checking it, why are you? And it's like, we're going to have so many overlapping systems. There's no oversight and the quality stays high. And we can continue to charge a premium for our service and protect our brand that, like you said, you put your whole life into.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Before we get something, you said something about a YouTube video that you even hire 'em, or when you hire them before they get out there, they got to watch a YouTube video. we're going to talk about that for a second, but back to the integrity thing. Like, I had a guy the guy that works for us that ain't with us right now, but I hope he gets back here the 24th. Um, you know, I pour into this guy, pour into this guy. I mean, 24/7. He was like almost like pouring into one of your kids. Like
Okay.
you're, you know, we're this type of person, but we need. I'm gonna put it like this: when you accept Christ in your life, you become a totally different person. You gotta live. You gotta set your morals and stuff has got to change. You're going to. You're representing more than just yourself. You're representing the kingdom of heaven for number one. You're out on the job. You're representing God, me, and yourself, and my company. So you got to be. I was just trying to push him in the direction of, you know, which I mean, we got cool shirts we wear. I ain't got one of them on, but they're like honeycomb print on them and
Okay.
everything. Got the company name on them. They're hot. Yeah, they're hot. They're polyester shirts. They're hot. I mean, like really hot. I mean, 100-degree day outside, and you want your tank top on.
Yeah.
And but that khaki shorts, your khaki pants. I mean, it looks good together. And I just trying to set them up. We got to look the part, talk the part, walk the part.
Yeah.
I don't go if we go do the estimates with me. If you don't have a company shirt on or a hat on, you do not get out of the truck. I want to set that standard that's how we dress. That's what we look like when we go to a job.
Well, going into the YouTube channel thing, like what you're doing, you just need to create a private YouTube channel, record this, and then, put it on there. And so then when you hire him, you're not only just like pushing him in the right direction, you're setting a standard from day one. And he watches the video and go, oh, this guy's passionate about the way that he wants his brand represented. And I know this is important to him. My job's important to me. So now this is important to me. And before we ever get in a truck, I know the standard at which he expects me to operate out here in public. And so this also prevents you from having to, one, maybe feel like I said it better last time, or I forgot to go over it with him because we were so busy. I hopped in the truck. Like, you don't have to remember. You just do it once, you put it on there, and then everyone gets the same thing. And you don't have to spend that time every new hire for the rest of time
Right.
doing this, because I mean, I understand what you're saying about watching for your brand, but it also seems like you really care about the gentleman and want to see him do well in life. And so, um, you know, you can't spend time helping every single person that you hire if you're still helping the last guy that you hired, right? And I'm not against helping people that you hire at all. I was actually just talking with a guy today about trying to get someone to come into my company to talk to my technicians about financial responsibility and teach them how to, like, look at their credit score and budget their money and things like that. Because as we scale, they have opportunities to move up and have larger paychecks and salaries, and that's going to allow them to have financial opportunities that they maybe aren't aware of how to handle properly. And I want to make sure that our guys from a dispatcher to a technician to a field manager to our operations manager is also growing outside of the company. So like you, I care a lot about my employees and want to see them do better. And that's not something that, I necessarily have to do as an owner, but I also know that I spent 30 minutes with that guy today, finding out if that was who I wanted to come in my business and talk to us. I've set up another meeting so that the other people in my business that should be doing that now can meet with him and agree on it. And then they'll handle it from there, though. And it's like, I can't, if I do that, then I'm not helping someone else. And I have this fiduciary responsibility to this company to be constantly growing it so that when we keep hiring people in, they have future opportunities. And I feel that weight as an owner. So, create the YouTube channel, if not, to say it makes it easy on you, but if nothing, to give you more time to help more people.
Right. Now we got Mark Williams. Has got a question. What's your take on AI?
Yeah, so I like AI. I mean, I think that it's obviously new, and I think when you stop and think about like how the internet, or even for me and my generation, Facebook, kind of evolved over like a 5 to 10 year span. I'm really excited
Right.
about what the next 2 to 3 years looks like for AI. I'm not at the point where I'm trying to get AI to answer my calls yet, because I do think that as a person that builds and has a background in sales and builds systems for maximizing our phone opportunities, I think that there's a little bit more to it. And I think that things like voice inflection and you know empathy are things that are helpful in sales. And so right now, I am not, and I haven't gotten deep into it. I'm not a big fan of someone answering my phone that is AI. With that being said, we use AI a lot in my business outside of that. I've seen the AI phone thing. Outside of that, though, we use it a lot. Yeah. I mean, we were joking the other day, just how often we went from using it maybe a little bit because we were trying to figure out chat gpt or something, last year, to like in less than 12 months, like we probably use it to write most of the content at the founders workshop. If I'm writing an email to someone, I'm not the best with writing emails, so I can give it to chat and chat will give it back to me in an email that I go, oh, I like that, that sounds smart, and then I send that out, right? So but I love AI. I think it's really helpful. It buys me a lot of time back, buys a lot of my team time back, and that makes us more profitable. I heard a gentleman the other day was talking about they truly believe that in the next 10 years there'll be $1 billion company that's run by one man, and that's because of AI. And when you can generate that kind of wealth around something like this advancement in technology, I'm all about it. So we can get into debates of AI taking people's jobs later because I don't think it's that simple either. But as far as AI in a small service business or any kind of service-based business, I think that finding ways to integrate that in a way that doesn't draw away from the customer experience at this time of its evolving, I think you should really take a look at that at your business if you're not already trying to automate with it.
You don't think that that'll take away from like the building a relationship with your customer, or just treat them as a customer? I mean,
Well, like I said, I'm not with the phone thing yet. I like building the phone sales systems. I like our dispatchers. I like the way that we do that. We don't drive sales to phone calls. I'm not trying to build a staff
right,
of phone callers, but if a phone call comes into my company, I want a trained salesperson on the other side that can help, like I said, convey that empathy, have the voice inflection, right? If Anthony gets on the phone and says, "Hey, my dog just crapped in my car," I don't want AI to go, "Oh, that's so awful." I want them to be like, "Oh man, that's not great. We got to help you. We probably need to get that done today, don't we, Anthony?" And he's like, "Yeah, we do." And that laughter is a way of building rapport with someone. And
right,
so the moment, as a salesperson, the moment I hear you do that on the other end, I know that I've just bought myself some time to educate you on what services you need. And the time that I need to buy is the time to ask you questions, right? So I can educate you. And so for me, we don't treat sales as this thing where we're tricking people into something or selling them something they don't need. What I'm really trying to do is make sure that I ask you all the right questions and offer you a solution based on the needs that you have at the time. And I just don't know how much of that comes across in an AI answering service.
right.
And I'm not bashing it. Just again, I really don't
Yeah,
know.
I
But
understand.
all the other type of AI that you're integrating, whether it's you know helping type emails, create content, things like that, I think that's great. I think it gets things out of my way, at least, that allows me to focus on some other stuff that really moves the needle.
Yeah. What's your take on CRMs?
My take is you got to have them. Mark, I'm kind of messing with you, but I don't know what you mean by that. You've got to have a CRM. Like, I don't know how as a service business, even if like you don't want to scale, how you're keeping track of your invoices in like an organized fashion where you can go back and find, like, so for instance, if you pay an invoice for me, then in 30 days, if you don't use my service again, and again, I'm in detail, so that turns around, but in pressure
Right,
washing, right? In pressure washing, if in 6 months you haven't called us for a gutter cleaning service or something since the last time we pressure washed your house and cleaned your gutters, then you were getting an email follow up, right? And that email follow up was triggered by my CRMs getting the invoice paid. So, um, Mark, when you're saying you use Google Calendar and QuickBooks, like that's that is not probably a good way to scale that. And just being honest with you, Mark, do you know Mark Williams?
Nope, sure
Mark,
don't.
what is the business? Is it like what is your pressure washing business? Is it just pressure washing? Is it gutter cleaning, deck staining? Like, do you only clean driveways? Like, what is your pressure washing business if it is pressure washing? Um, the reason I'm asking is because you should probably find. Okay. I don't know what other people would suggest. I know that I used House Call Pro when I had my pressure washing company, and I really liked the way that I could kind of customize some stuff. And I know that they've added some features lately. They are costly, but you need to look at a CRM that's going to be able to store your customer data, and also automate invoicing for you, automate follow-up emails, automate follow-up text messages. Also, like my current CRM and the one at House Call, like we could hit a button, it would automate a text message to the client to let my techs know they're on their way. My techs are awful at texting, and sometimes they mistext them, or the word got corrected to something I did not want my customer to be sent.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, in that aspect, like the auto text, all of that stuff, like as you even Anthony, like you said, even if you got one or two helpers, if they're out there, they take a truck out by themselves, you have confidence that like the message that's going to the customer is the exact message you wanted. Follow-up messages after the invoice gets paid, like who's sending a text for reviews and things like that. So yeah, I definitely think that you should have a CRM. Anthony, do you use a CRM?
No.
Good Lord, guys, what's going on?
uh, man, I guess I'm just old school, bro. I mean,
Yeah. I
just
mean, look, if you don't ever plan on, if you're just like, dude, I'm good at the two guys, and I mean, I get how you can kind of keep track of that. Like you said, the guys think you're not doing anything. It's because you're spending all day running around collecting invoices, paying bills at the gas company, calling customers about follow-ups, checking. That kind of stuff should be automated by your CRM. And most CRMs are, somewhere between 100 and 300 bucks a month. I would gladly give away 200 bucks a month not to have to invoice anyone ever again. Like, just on the sense that like that is going to follow up. If they don't pay in 72 hours, they get an automated invoice again through text message. Like, I can just set up so much stuff that I don't have to stop and do, that you're not buying just one invoicing moment. Like, you're buying a whole just office manager, really. For $100 to $300, I mean, you're cheating yourself. You're trying to. What my dad used to tell me is I was stepping over a dollar to pick up a penny.
they really, they really looked at it that way. Just I don't know. That's a good one. I have to think about that one.
Yeah, look, whenever you're thinking about not doing one of those systems like that, what you have to look at is cost. Like, what is it really costing me in time? Because, Anthony, at some point, and I'm sure you've gotten here in the busy season where it's like every time I say yes to somebody means I'm saying no to somebody else in a moment, right? Like, if I say yes to your job, then I got to say no to somebody tomorrow, because I do have a reputation. People do know us, and I get phone calls during the busy season. And so I'm not taking a low end job when I know tomorrow is going to bring me a high end job. I have a certain, maybe a minimum trip charge that you would pay to go out somewhere, right? And so in that sense, like, you have to think about how much time do you waste doing something like that, that you could be going to make sure you're setting up the right marketing funnel, or doing door hanging. Like, you're old school, so like maybe you don't want to get heavy into digital marketing, but you could go. I'll tell you what I did at Peach State before I got big into digital marketing, understanding it was I used to go around and hand out. We would make gift baskets and buy food baskets and stuff, and walk around and hand it out to apartment complexes, with like a candy jar with like a bag of M&Ms, and I was like, hey, can I leave the candy jar here that it just says mint on the front of it, like little white etching or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, sure, whatever. And it gives me an excuse to come back every week and fill them so I can talk to them. And, but like, that's old school. You want to go that way, that's fine. But like, that's time consuming. So if you're going to do that time, you have to buy it somewhere else. And landing an apartment complex is way more profitable, or getting another McDonald's chain or a Burger King pickup or a shopping center, where you're doing all their dumpster pads. for the next 5 shopping centers, that's way more profitable than spending your time invoicing people or following up on someone that didn't pay. So certainly think about it. I mean, I'm not knocking. I get it, the old school thing.
Right.
I've done it too, but at some point you gotta go, hey, I'm a little bit past that at this point.
Yeah. Here's another one that Mark put on there. Well, if you don't have a website yet, or just Facebook. I don't have a website.
Get a website. There, I won't hire anybody without a website at my house. If in 2025 you don't have at least a landing page that I can www.com, then I'm not trusting you with anything at my home. It just that's if you did Anthony, did you say you don't have a website?
I do not have a website.
How does McDonald's verify you?
That I don't know. I tracked down the person that I'm supposed to talk to.
Yeah.
And
it just was like, I like you. Here you go.
I guess pretty much.
Yeah, you were blessed, Anthony. Yeah, look, if you're doing commercial work, and that's why I stopped my answer, because it dawned on me what Anthony said to me. So you're doing commercial work. I don't know how you're winning bids without a website. I think that, Mark, if you're just starting out, and I'm just taking a leap here, but I think that you're probably doing residential stuff. And if that's the case, that's the first thing I would do. And Mark, the reason is because this isn't 2015. You can go and get a website built in minutes. It's really crazy what AI can do to give you just a simple landing page, but it establishes value for your customers, and it costs you almost nothing to do it, right? Like you spend, and look, if you just spent some time, I'll give you a couple of tips. With Zant, you can go find tutors on there to build out things. So like if you wanted to build a landing page, go to Wizant, look up a tutor on how to build like landing pages, and have somebody tutor you for 2 weeks. They're probably going to charge you 150 an hour, but then you'll probably just through that probably figure out that you're not but 2 steps away from building your own website. People are going to say, well, you have to do SEO on the website and all that. Sure, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm just talking about somewhere where a customer can go and see that you have previous pictures, that you have reviews, that you're not just some fly-by-night guy that swears to God he's good at this. Like that, I need a little bit more than that as a homeowner. Like, sorry, bro, we just met. So if you want to pressure wash my driveway and run bleach down my gutters from my roof, I need to know that you know not to kill my Japanese maple. I need some reviews here. I need some. Do you got somebody that I can talk to? And I don't need all that if you have a website, because I can just go there and look at that and your Google reviews. Getting on GMB is nothing once you have a website, and building your GM profile is nothing. Now, loading SEO and all that stuff, that's a different ballpark, and I get that. Like that's a skill set that it took me some time to develop, but yeah, you certainly need some type of at least landing page that you can link to your Facebook page, so that they can kind of look at your professionalism and see what you got going on.
We never had one. Kind of had I'm gonna say a half-assed Facebook page for the company that I just kind of put together. Well, this year I went in a different direction. I got a lot to work on my Facebook page for the business. She cleaned it up and everything. And this season, I've washed more houses probably than I have in the last, I'm probably going to say 3 years.
That's just a Facebook page. Wait till you get a website to GMB.
The Facebook page.
The GMB is like, that's not going to rank at all. Like they're not going to find you immediately, but it's when I'm searching your name and I already know who you are, and I'm just trying to verify my decision to hire you. That's where that stuff plays when you're smaller, or where you're, just starting to try to develop an online presence.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah, you don't have to pay a marketing company $500 a month for the end of time so you can get SEO immediately. Like just get you a website landing page, something somebody can verify you, and watch it drive you extra business at almost no. I mean, Anthony, what'd you pay to? If you don't mind me asking, what'd you pay to have the website or the Facebook page redone?
I think it's $350.
$350.
Yeah.
How many jobs? How much money you think you made off a $350 Facebook page?
A lot.
Yeah. Go spend $1,000, get a website, guys. Like, uh, I won't quote him but I used to have a person that told me a lot that if I found a vending machine and I walked up and I put a dollar into it and it gave me $2 back, that my only job in life now is to stand there and put as many dollars into this machine as I can, right?
Of course.
Um, and so when you look at a business, if you find that you have an ROI on a Facebook page like that, your next inclination, that fiduciary responsibility, that weight that I personally feel on my business is I have to go figure out, okay, if I gave 1,000 to a website, what would it look like, right? If you know what I mean, and I'm not saying go out there and buy a $5,000-$10,000 website, but to like not exercise any website in 2025 is going to be hard to drive residential customers. They're not. I mean, and look, to be frank with you, like social media is it's sometimes it's not really a trustworthy thing. And there's a lot
Right.
of silly scams and fraudsters out there. So just having a Facebook page sometimes isn't enough. Now, like I said, Anthony, with you, I mean, you're kind of locally known and stuff. I mean, you get I'm sure if they wanted to verify you, you could give them some guy's phone number that would call them up and tell them nice things about you. But not everybody has that kind of rapport with their customer base yet. And I just think in 25, you got to have a better web presence.
All right. Well, we're kicking close to that hour mark, David. So your workshop is this weekend, and it's in Georgia. We're at in Georgia.
Yeah, so it's in Atlanta, Georgia. We've closed ticket sales. It starts tomorrow morning. We were just going over some of the presentation of the avatars, how to create avatars, stuff like that. Yeah, Mark, no problem, man. So you guys be sure to follow the Founders Workshop on Facebook and check out. You can go to my personal Facebook page for content as well. We'll put tickets up for sale starting in July for the September workshop. And look, guys, if y'all want more information like this and to learn how to scale and grow your business, please come out to the workshop. I made a video a couple of weeks ago. The workshop's $2,000 for 3 days. I'll stand at the door on your way out. If you feel like I didn't deliver, you can have your money back. There's just no way that many professionals and coaches working with you one-on-one on real important things in your business that you don't feel an immediate impact. And we've had such good experiences and feedback with everyone in the past that I'm just pretty confident about the outcome of this workshop for small business owners. So I appreciate your time, Anthony, and please tell Trudi that I hope she feels better. If she's still listening, I hope you feel better. And I'm looking forward to the event in November.
November.
I will
In
see you
November.
guys there. I'll be talking about the same stuff there.
Yeah. So they can go to Founders Workshop on Facebook, go to David Sessions' Facebook page, and all of the information they get to the workshop where it's at is on there for this weekend too, right?
Yeah, so the Founders Workshop's in person. So if you didn't buy a ticket before yesterday, there's nothing to do this weekend. But we'll put up, you can go to thefoundersworkshop.com and that'll continue to update on new events. We do it quarterly. So after this weekend, the next one will be in September. And that's kind of what you should be looking to try to join us on next.
Huh. I might have to ride to the ATL in September.
Get out of that rain some. It wouldn't hurt anybody.
All right. Well, Dave, man, it's been blessed to have you here, man, and learned a lot. And I hope everybody else learned a lot. And when they watch this over the next few days, I'm sure if they have any questions, they can hit you up. You'll answer whatever you can for them. The same here with me. And if you ain't done it yet, always push it. It's www.panhandleexpo.com. Go there and get registered for the event in November. And we look forward to seeing everybody there. Man, I thank you for coming on here, David, with me. And I'm sorry, Trudi, you ain't with us, but she said she wasn't going to come on here laid up in a hospital bed.
It's all right. That's I think that's pretty fair.
Maybe we get a little closer to November. She gets feeling better when we drag you back on here again. And and everything. So I think she's going to try to get the people that's going to do the teachings and stuff a little bit more closer, and we're just going to have them come on once a week and go over things that they're going to be talking about so we can get this thing to be the greatest show on earth.
Hey, y'all guys let me know. I'm happy to help, and I'm excited about what it all looks like when it comes together. So thanks for having me, and everybody that's watching, y'all have a good night.
All right. Thank you, David. We'll see you, bud.
Bye, guys.
Sipping on straight glory.